Chapter 39, Scheming Grandmother. Zhou Fenghan became startled as he exclaimed, "Sister-in-law, I wouldn't dare to gamble like that." Old Madam only replied calmly with a smile, "Little Han, sister-in-law only made this decision after careful thought. If Danner is going to carry on like that, then the more wealth my Ling family leaves for him, the more it will harm him. If that's the case, then why not I give half of the wealth to the Zhou family? It can also be considered as a little gift from your big brother and sister-in-law." As she said the last few words, she purposefully emphasized on them. However, everyone was all puzzled as they did not understand what she meant. Ling Tian laughed to himself. "So it seems that this grandmother of mine is really a smart person." Old Madam Ling's action were as good as telling the Zhou family, "I know what the Zhou family has been planning all this while. But even if your Zhou family is going to do anything, we will not do anything to help you in the open. Although the marriage has been rejected, I can still use this gamble to give you half of my wealth. This can also be said to help you on behalf of our past relationship. Of course, all of this are on the basis that you win the bet. If you lose the bet, then my grandson will be your grandson-in-law. If that's the case, no matter how big your Zhou family becomes, even if you unite the continent, half of that would still belong to my grandson." Zhou Fenghan naturally understood what old Madam meant. These words of hers had already showed that the Ling family was not going to help with the Zhou family's big plans and will only help in secret. Of course, whether or not that was the plan of old Madam Ling, Zhou Fenghan would not know. But that was the way he understood old Madam Ling's words. From the way Zhou Fenghan saw it, the domineering and incorrigible Ling Tian in front of him will never hold a candle to his granddaughter. He believes that no woman would ever like a child who is horrible as such, especially the smart granddaughter of his. Ling Tian was immediately awed by his grandmother's wits. From the way the Zhou family's ambitions and power was growing, it was extremely likely that they were planning something. While old Madam Ling seemed to have made a great risk in this gamble, it was actually a flawless method to protect the Ling family. If the Zhou family were to fail, the Ling family will be able to separate itself from that matter. If the Zhou family were to succeed, the Ling family would grow to even greater heights. In other words, the Ling family would be assured of another 10 years of prosperity and safety whether or not the Zhou family succeeds. Just from this alone, that is a great benefit to the Ling family. Especially how she was able to unknowingly drag the Zhou family's wealth into this whole situation even when the Ling family was already at the longer end of the stick. At the same time, she made Zhou Fenghan owe the Ling family a huge favor. Ling Tian was completely awed. Fantastic means she had. It seems that the most cunning person in the Ling family isn't I, Ling Tian. Instead, it is my grandmother. Indeed, Zhou Fenghan was not able to read old Madam Ling's move completely and only thought that old Madam Ling was helping the Zhou family in their future uprising. He could not help but feel warm in his heart as he replied with gratitude, "All right, then this little brother shall not stand on ceremony. I will accept this gamble." As he said that, he called his granddaughter to his side and said, "Now that the marriage is no longer, this lass cannot take away this blood phoenix jade bangle which is the heirloom of the Ling family." Old Madam Ling then grunted with pride, "So what if it is a family heirloom? It is just a bangle. This old lady will not take back anything I have given." At the same time, she snickered in her heart, "This old lady just likes this lass. Even if I have to force my grandson to the corner, I will make sure he kidnaps this lass back for me. If that's the case, then wouldn't my family heirloom return? What is wrong with giving the family heirloom to my daughter-in-law?" Zhou Fenghan then broke out in a laugh, "If that's the case, then this little brother will not say anything else." Ling Zan was listening to the conversation and was indifferent towards giving out half of his family wealth. In the eyes of this straightforward old man, wealth was nothing more than physical possessions. Even if he were to give it to the Zhou family, it is at least still in the hands of his own brother. However, He was puzzled about the attitude old Madame Ling had towards the rejection of the marriage. His wife had always been extremely concerned about this marriage. Why does it seem that she was so indifferent towards the rejection of the marriage today? He could not help but look at his wife with doubt, thinking, don't tell me that old lady is angered to the point she can no longer think straight? However, he could not find anything wrong with her and did not bother thinking about the matter any further. With a wave of his hands, he commanded, "Little ones, serve a table of good food and wine. This old man will have a good drink, my brother, today." As old Madame Ling saw the questioning look on Ling Zan's face, she was also extremely depressed as she thought to herself, it doesn't matter if that old man is foolish. But with my wit, I was also fooled by this little one. If not for the fact that I was so angered today, forcing him to save me, I will probably be unable to find out his little secret. At the same time, she was extremely doubtful in her heart. Not only have I never seen that warm chi from Ling Tian before, but also I have not even heard about something as mystical as that before. I wonder which expert he learned that from. Why has he never shown it before? Just who was the one who planned the affairs that happened today? What's the meaning behind that? Tanner has never gone out far before ever since he was young and grew up under our eyes. When did he meet such a mysterious expert? He should not be able to hide all of these from me, but I am actually clueless about all of these. Not even a single clue about this matter. This is just too strange. Although old Madame Ling knew that Ling Tian was not how he appeared to be, she did not believe that all of these were planned, directed and acted out by him alone. No matter how much of a genius Ling Tian was, he was only a 5-year-old child in her eyes. Thus, old Madame Ling had immediately assumed that there must definitely be a mysterious expert behind Ling Tian. Furthermore, this expert does not have any malicious intent towards the Ling family. It must be said, old Madame Ling's deductions were all extremely logical. Of course, if Ling Tian was not a weirdo who reincarnated with his memories, old Madame Ling's deductions would not just be a deduction but the truth. But now, old Madame Ling was completely wrong. Seeing that the atmosphere had changed, Ling Zhou could finally relax. Seeing Ling Tian in the bosom of old Madame Ling, Ling Zhou could not help but scold, "Little beast, get your ass here now." Before Ling Tian had a chance to react, old Madame Ling had already glared at him. "What do you want to do? Do you really think that your wings are now strong? Without the permission of this old lady, just go ahead and try to touch Tanner. This old lady will definitely break your legs." Ling Zhou was completely helpless as his eyes turned red from anger. "Mother, Tanner is so mischievous. If he is not taught a lesson, he may." Before Ling Zhou finished what he had to say, old Madame Ling had already roared at him. "He may what? Do I still need you to teach me how to discipline a child? Scram to one side." As she said that, she held Ling Tian with one hand and Zhou Yanzu with the other, walking out of the hall in front of everyone. Before she disappeared, she looked towards Ling Zan and warned, "If you dare to get drunk, you will be asking for trouble." Only then did she really walk away. All of the men in the hall stared at one another, dumbfounded, for a moment. Only after a while did Zhou Fenghan burst out into laughter. "After 30 years, my big brother is still so scared of her. It seems that it is impossible for him to make his wife submit in this lifetime." Ling Zan's face turned red as he felt that he lost all face in front of his sworn brother. Chapter 40, Master. Ling Tian sat down obediently on the chair as he fidgeted with his eyes looking around nervously. Old Madame Ling sat opposite him with a smile which did not seem like one, with the look of a police interrogating a criminal. "You horrible brat, I must definitely dig out all of your secrets today." Ling Tian laughed bitterly to himself as he quickly thought of a plan. Looking at the domineering look on his grandmother's face, he definitely will not have a good time today. The first thing old Madame Ling said after entering the room was, "Bring Xue to the side room and take good care of her. Xue, go and play with elder sister first." Grandmother will teach this naughty brother of yours a good lesson. I will take you to have something nice to eat later. Such a good girl." The first half was spoken to a maid while the second half was spoken to Xue. As Zhou Yanzu looked towards Ling Tian with a little bit of fear and disgust, she responded to old Madame Ling softly and walked out with the maid. "How is your master?" Old Madame Ling looked at her grandson and asked. "My master?" Ling Tian was lost. "What is going on here? Since when do I have a master?" As he looked at the confident look on his grandmother's face, he understood what was going on as he praised her methods in his heart. If Ling Tian was just a 5-year-old child and had a secret master, he would definitely let up with just a single question by old Madame Ling. This question obviously means, "I already know all about you. It is best to say everything out on your own." With mind games as such, there was no chance for Ling Tian to avoid the question at all. It was indeed a good method to use. But after Ling Tian heard that question, he had the urge to burst out into laughter. Ling Tian thought to himself, since grandmother has already gone into the topic and has a guess like that, why not I just play along with her? He then pretended to stutter as he said, Good. Eh? Grandmother, how did you know that I have a master?" "Indeed so." Old Madame Ling thought to herself, little brat. No matter how much you act, you still revealed yourself after a single question. Old Madame Ling could not help but feel full of herself. With a cold grunt, she continued to say with confidence, Why would grandmother not know about those little things of yours? It isn't a big secret anyway. Speak, how did you meet your master?" As old Madame Ling questioned Ling Tian, she was hinting to him that she was well aware of who his master was. At the same time, it is to make Ling Tian think that she would immediately know if he were to lie about anything. She would probably be able to use this method to even deal with a fully grown man. But facing a weirdo like Ling Tian, the result of this method would be to lead her further and further down the path of her misunderstanding. After Ling Tian thought for a moment, he acted as though he could no longer hide the matter anymore and revealed everything. Of course, the everything he revealed was carefully modified. Ling Tian then described how he saw a white-bearded old man when he was 3 appearing in front of him. The old man said that he was a martial talent the moment he saw Ling Tian and said that he wanted to take Ling Tian in as a disciple. At the same time, he requested Ling Tian to move out from staying with his parents. Then, the old man would sneak into his room every night to teach him martial arts and more. Ling Tian made use of all the wuxia tales he had read before in his past life to weave out a story. However, this was something extremely amazing in this world as well, and even old Madame Ling had her mouth ajar as she listened to the whole story. After Ling Tian had explained the matter, old Madame Ling's doubt about why Ling Tian intended to move out when he was 3 was finally resolved. At the same time, she looked towards her grandson with a sense of satisfaction and pride. She then thought about something as she asked, "Tanner, your master taught you martial arts in light of your talents, and this is something fantastic. But why did you hide the matter from us?" After considering for a moment, Ling Tian finally came to a decision and replied, "Master said that our Ling family is too big now and will attract many enemies. If people knew about me, it will be extremely disadvantageous to our family." Old Madame Ling then nodded in agreement. It seems that Tanner's master is extremely wise and isn't someone simple. She then asked again, "Don't tell me your grandparents or parents will reveal the secret if you tell us?" This was what old Madame Ling was extremely displeased about. "It doesn't matter if you want to take my grandson as your disciple. But why do you forbid him from telling us? Ling Tian is our direct descendant. After Ling Tian weighed his options for a moment, he decided to speak the truth. "Master has said that there are many dangers in our own Ling family mansion. He said that my grandparents and parents can definitely be trusted. But there are other figures in the Ling family with authority that must be guarded against. Right, Master also talked about second uncle before." Ling Tian came to a conclusion. Since I can't conceal the matter, let me bring it up openly. With grandmother's wits, she is definitely someone who will consider the bigger picture. It may be a good thing to let her know the truth earlier. Since I have a fake master as backing, I don't need to be afraid of revealing anything. Old Madame Ling's face became serious as she asked, "Your second uncle? What about your second uncle?" As she said that, her eyebrows furrowed as she had a bad premonition. Ling Tian replied, "Master had once heard a secret conversation between second uncle and Ling Zhen before. He said that second uncle had once sent someone to feed mother the air-severing grass." Ling Tian thought to himself, "Since I am going to reveal the truth, I should go all out. Let me send a big bomb to shock her first." Bang! Old Madame Ling slapped the table and stood up in rage. This had always been a doubt in her heart. Her son and daughter-in-law have always been extremely loving but never had a child, making the two old people so worried. They thought that it might be because of a hidden disability and tried to find a cure for it all over. But they never imagined that this would be the cause of it. In that instant, old Madame Ling thought about the different things that happened in the past few years. She started thinking about how Ling Kong was extremely passionate about the problem that the Ling family had no descendants, personally arranging for someone to attend to tutoring her. At the same time, this answered all the possible doubts both herself and Ling Zhen had about him being a little too extreme. In fact, when he heard about any doctor who might be able to help tutoring her conceive, he personally sought them out no matter the distance. But old Madame Ling never imagined that there was such a vicious intent behind all of those. In the past, old Madame Ling had always felt gratitude towards Ling Kong and felt that this godson of hers knew how to repay gratitude. At the same time, she had even praised him in front of Ling Zhen many times about his good character before. She said that he was smart and capable, being a rare talent. But she never expected that it was this talent who almost made the Ling family lose its future generation. If not for the fact that there was an accident and Ling Tian came into existence, Ling Kong's scheme would have succeeded by now. At the same time, he would be victorious with everyone being kept in the dark. Old Madame Ling was both embarrassed and angered to the point she felt her heart almost bursting. As her breath became ragged, she grit her teeth and cursed, so this was the case. HMPH. If the Ling family really does not have any descendants, the wealth of the whole family would definitely land into Ling Zhen's hands. What a good plan. What vicious methods. Ling Kong, I will make sure you die a horrible death. As she said the final sentence, she said it with all of her strength. As long as Ling Zhou does not have any children, Ling Kong, who was the godson of Ling Zhen, was the person closest to the direct bloodline of the Ling family. Ling Zhen would then be the third-generation successor to the Ling family for sure. With old Madame Ling's wisdom, she was naturally able to easily understand the reasons behind Ling Kong's plans in a short few moments. She could not help but feel like catching the both of them in front of her immediately, executing them on the spot to vent her anger. Chapter 41, Revealing Cards. Ling Tian was startled as he hurriedly took a look out of the door and circulated his inner force to observe the surroundings. Only after he realized that there was nothing wrong did he return, "Grandmother, don't be agitated. My master said that we cannot make any rash moves." A short while later, old Madame Ling's ragged breath finally became back to normal. She then squatted down and looked at Ling Tian with fiery eyes as she asked anxiously, "What else did your master say?" "Tenor, quickly tell them all to grandmother. This matter will affect the life and death of our Ling family. You cannot hide anything." Ling Tian replied, "Yes. Master said that Ling Kong has been managing the affairs of the Ling family for many years and already has a good grasp of the family. Furthermore, all of his talents are all in secret. If we were to catch Ling Kong right now, all of the others involved will never be found out. This will definitely leave behind many hidden dangers for our Ling family in future. As such, it is best that we are careful. It's either we lie and wait, or we catch them all in a single swoop when we take action. If not, trouble will follow for sure." Old Madame Ling's face became serious as she got up and paced around. With a frown, she said, "Your master is right, this matter must be handled carefully and with planning. All of these years, everything in the Ling family has been managed by Ling Kong. Haze. It is a pity your grandfather and father are the same, unable to hide anything in their heart. Ha ha ha, this old lady finally understands why your master asked you to keep it a secret. If your grandfather and father were to find out about this, the whole world would definitely find out also. At that time, there will be no turning back for sure." Good thinking, good thinking. Naturally, she was praising Ling Tian's master for his good thinking. Thinking about this matter carefully and connecting all the dots, old Madame Ling began to feel that Ling Tian's master was extremely wise and was definitely a top-notch figure in the world today. She could not help but admire him in her heart as she asked, "Tanner, can you get your master to come out so grandmother can talk to him?" Ling Tian was then startled as he quickly replied, "Master has said that he has distanced himself from worldly affairs and does not like to come in contact with people. Grandson has also pleaded to him many times before but he just refused to do so. He only agreed to help us in secret." He then wiped off his cold sweat. "If grandmother really wants to see that master of mine, what should I do?" Old Madame Ling then smiled. "All of these experts all have their strange temperaments. It doesn't matter if he doesn't want to see us. If we were to force it, we may elicit a bad response from him instead and that wouldn't be good. But this is also good, with your master in secret, it is an extremely good thing for our Ling family." Ling Tian responded, "Yes." Then, he did not dare say anything else. Old Madame Ling then frowned as she asked with doubt, "So, your actions today to force the Zhou family to reject the marriage was your master's idea as well?" Ling Tian replied with a and admitted it. Old Madame Ling then asked, "This marriage is extremely beneficial to our Ling family, so why would your master want to ruin it? Did he tell you the reason?" Ling Tian then replied, "Master has said it before." At the same time, he broke out in cold sweat in his heart as he thought, "It seems that grandmother will not let me go today until she digs everything she wants to know out of me." Old Madame Ling's brows then twitched. "Oh?" Ling Tian replied, "Master said that the ambitions of the Zhou family are far too big. They may even have the ambitions to unite the continent. Now that our Ling family still has troubles within that we have not removed, together with the suspicions from the royal family, the moment things gets messy, our Ling family will be the first to get exterminated. Furthermore, if our Ling family wants to get rid of all the hidden troubles within, we will definitely suffer great harm, with the family being thrown into chaos. This wound will not be something which our family will be able to recover in a short period of time for sure. Thus, it is not wise for us to interfere with the matters of the Zhou family now. It is best for the Ling family to maintain a low profile now." Old Madame Ling then sighed. "The Zhou family has been accumulating their forces for a few decades and their ambitions are obvious. If our Ling family does not have such a big internal issue, it doesn't matter if we were to involve ourselves. But at this moment, it is not suitable for us to do so. However, it is really such a waste for us to lose this marriage." As she finished, she then sighed again. Ling Tian sat down obediently as he thought to himself, "The main reason is just because your grandson does not want to be under anyone. Of course, I will not tell you this reason." Old Madame Ling then sighed again as she said, "The moment the continent becomes messy, it wouldn't be our choice whether to involve ourselves anymore. In the chaotic world, it is impossible for a family as large as ours to stand on the sidelines. We will definitely have to take a side for sure. How is this something that can be avoided by rejecting a single marriage?" Ling Tian thought to himself, "If this is the only reason, then this decision is indeed a little hasty. But your grandson still has other plans." Then, old Madame Ling shook her head as she said seriously, "If you have any news of that bastard Ling Kong in future, You must inform grandmother for sure." As she said that, she grit her teeth in anger. Ling Tian immediately agreed as he thought to himself, "The things today are finally over. I also reaped quite a few benefits. It is just that I have wasted a lot of brain cells." Old Madame Ling then looked to her grandson and heaved a sigh of relief. Then, she stretched out her hands and pulled on Ling Tian's ears as she scolded, "You little brat, you actually concealed such a large matter from your grandmother for a full 2 years. Do you know your crime?" Ling Tian then cried out in pain, "Grandmother, let go, Tanner will not dare to do so in future." Not only did old Madame Ling not let go, she pulled on the other ear of Ling Tian as she grunted, "This old lady had just gave out our family heirloom and you actually made them reject the marriage. Do you want to anger this old lady to death? That is the gift for my granddaughter-in-law. Little thing, if that lass is still to your liking when you grow up, you must definitely bring her together with the bracelet back together regardless the cost. I made a gamble in public just now. If you dare to let this old lady lose, HMPH. Now that the serious matters are settled, how is it possible for her to not punish Ling Tian?" Ling Tian broke out in sweat. Grandmother is indeed the strongest and most scheming person in the mansion. Regardless the means? Regardless the cost? No matter what? Ling Tian could not help but let his thoughts go awry. "I really want to know, what if I rape her first before bringing her back?" But he knew that if he were to really ask that, he would really be a real bastard. Thus, he swallowed the question back. Seeing how his own ears were still in his grandmother's hands, Ling Tian quickly assured, "Grandmother, be at ease, grandson will definitely not let you lose the bet." Only then did old Madame Ling became happy as she let go of his ears and said with a caring smile, "Tanner is indeed a good boy and an obedient child." Ling Tian was speechless. Then, he suddenly thought of something, "Grandmother, master had said something else." Without any choice, he could only use his bogus master as an excuse. Old Madame Ling then asked, "What matter?" Ling Tian then replied with embarrassment, "Master said that if the Zhou family really rejects the marriage, we cannot let them do so easily. We must definitely let Zhou Fenghan pay a price." Old Madame Ling then spat out the sip of tea she just drank as she said with a bitter laughter, "You two master and disciple have already tricked the whole Zhou family and you still want to go after their property?" Ling Tian looked at old Madame Ling with a pair of innocent-looking eyes and said, "Master once said that the Zhou family has a top-notch weapon-making factory near the capital." Chapter 42, Night Visit. Cough cough cough. Madame Ling choked and started to cough. "This old body of mine is not going to care about this matter. If you want, you can go there yourself. I'm just afraid your grandfather will whip you little thing to death if he finds out." Ling Tian merely giggled, "When he comes, I'll hide inside grandma's room and not even take a step out." Madame Ling playfully scolded him, "Scram, go see that little lass. It should be about time for dinner. Why don't you return to your room? Your mother should also be worried to death. You had better not attend today's banquet." With a sound of affirmation, Ling Tian began walking towards his room. Further ahead, he heard sounds of heavy breathing coming out from his room. When he opened the door, he saw Ling Tian with his hands outstretched, his entire body maintaining a perfect horse stance as he stood facing the window. Looking at Ling Tian, it was obvious that he had been in this position for quite a while. His hair was matted and sweaty, the cotton jacket he was wearing had an obvious patch of sweat on it, and his facial muscles were twisted, twitching non-stop, and same with his body. However, his eyes were full of determination. Gritting his teeth, he exuded a crazed aura akin to a wild beast. Before leaving his room, Ling Tian had passed down some simple training methods for Ling Tian, and one of them was this horse stance. Ling Tian had demonstrated the perfect stance before he left. From how Ling Tian was positioned, it was obvious that once Ling Tian had left the house, he had begun his training without a single ounce of rest. He had long overdrafted his reserves of strength. Even though Ling Tian had quite accidentally chanced upon Ling Jian, he did not say a word and instead moved around him, sitting on the bed, nary a word. Since Ling Jian had taken the initiative to begin his own training, Ling Tian of course did not obstruct him. He could even take this chance to observe if the kid could achieve his own bodily limits, and test his willpower at the same time. With both hands clasped behind his head, his eyes staring aimlessly at the bed frame, Ling Tian's brain was working in overdrive, planning to look for Zhou Fenghan tonight. Guessing what attitude that old fellow would have towards him, as well as how he should counter. The things he had to do were plenty, but this matter was of utmost importance because once Zhou Fenghan left the city, Ling Tian would definitely lose the chance. Since Ling Tian wanted to build up his strength from now, he would need sufficient military weapons. Although Ling Tian himself had the skill to manufacture weapons and was aware of the different shapes and sizes, he would have to expose his secret in order to get them. Thus, having his own weapons plus production line would be the best. Ling Tian originally had the intention to make them himself, but just as he had this idea, Zhou Fenghan brought his granddaughter over in a majestic fashion. To Ling Tian, this was none other than the heavens dropping a piece of pie for him. Such a rare opportunity, how could he let it go? If he were to miss out on such a chance, most likely even heaven himself would not forgive him. Ling Tian's eyes continuously moved as the corners of his mouth gradually lifted up to form a smile. There were two people in the room, yet it was noiselessly calm. One was pitting against himself, pressing on at maintaining his horse stance, and the other lay on the bed, his spirit seeming to have flown out to the heavens. A good while later, a putong sound was heard. Ling Tian received a shock and opened his eyes wide. Without any suspense, lying on the ground was a fainted Ling Jian. Even though he fell down, his two hands were still outstretched in front of him. This fellow actually did the horse stance still he dropped from where he was standing. Ling Tian's eyes revealed an expression of satisfaction. As a person from a modern era, he of course knew the amount of perseverance needed to be able to perform the horse stance until one's entire body is bereft of strength and end up fainting. One should actually know that even if a person were to perform running to the extreme, those who could run till they fainted were few in number. Not to mention that this was the horse stance, which was 10 times harder. Thus, just judging by current circumstances, Ling Jian's intellect and willpower had already met Ling Tian's expectations. Ling Tian now believed that if he were to let Ling Jian continue using his current methods to train, Ling Jian would definitely become a figure of a generation in this world. Walking up to Ling Jian, Ling Tian's hand grabbed tightly to Ling Jian's taut muscles and began massaging them, so as to help him relax. Ling Tian's other hand pressed against Ling Jian's back, sending a warm stream of pure internal energy into him slowly. Ling Jian let out a suppressed groan and slowly regained his consciousness. When he saw Ling Tian helping him to massage his muscles personally, he could not help but feel a surge of warmth, almost tearing up on the spot. This was followed by being terrified, and he hurriedly struggled to get up. Ling Tian's hand moved from his back to gently rest on his shoulder. Yet, at the same time, Ling Jian felt as though an immense mountain was pressing on his body, incapacitating him. Only after Ling Tian had finished massaging the four limbs of his body did he finally let go of Ling Jian. Standing up, one could see that his forehead had a thin layer of sweat. A moment ago, Ling Tian did not dare to be too careless. If Ling Jian had overtrained and resulted in his muscles enduring injuries, that was not something one could recover within 2 or 3 days. Ling Jian stood up, moving his limbs, and found out that his body was comfortably sore. Just as he was about to express his thanks, Ling Tian had already reached the door, saying, "Follow me for a meal first." He did not mention a word about his secret training. In the afternoon, a huge banquet was held and this made Ling Zan dead drunk, with him being long carried to his room. Old man Ling was originally not in such a bad state, But with his bad mood due to the Zhou family asking to cancel the marriage proposal, and getting infuriated by Ling Tian, his heart became even more depressed. However, Zhou Fenghan came from afar and both of them have not met for many years, thus he could not bring himself to explode in anger at the scene. Having suppressed his anger forcefully, he of course had no strength to compete against the power of the alcohol. Staying over as a guest of the Ling family, Zhou Fenghan had also gotten himself nearly drunk. As he thought of how he had settled one of the weights in his heart, he felt even more comfortable. Thinking of how his big brother and sister's long relationship also did not have any troubles, this elevated his mood further. Although he felt that he was not doing good to both his brother and his wife by annulling the marriage, but if one were to search deeply, he did not actually feel that he had done anything wrong. Plus, the fact that the elder sister wanted to use the context of a gamble equivalent to giving away half of the Ling family's wealth, this wealth could actually be used by him to fund his business in future. The best was that till now, no one in the Ling family had spoken about pinning the blame on him. Author's note: the madam actually did not mean that. Zhou Fenghan guessed it himself. With so many rewards at hand, his trip to the capital this time was definitely not in vain. Having received the news that Ling Zan had not even woken up from the wine influence, as he smiled to himself, he also politely designed the banquet hosted by the Ling family tonight, asking the guards to send his food over to guard him. He was prepared to have a good meal with his granddaughter, at the same time sort through the gains that he had obtained in this trip. At the same time, now that he had received assistance from all sides, he contemplated what he should do for his next step. Thinking of the benefits, he could not help but let out a slight smile. After dinner, he ordered the guards to remove the leftovers, then with a book in his hand, he sat on a chair. Suddenly, faint voices of talking could be heard coming from outside. Next, a guard opened the door and entered, reporting, "Family head, Mr. Ken brings along the young master of the Ling family to come visit." Zhou Fenghan froze in shock, asking, "Young Master Ling?" The guard replied, "Yes, it is the little kid that spoke rudely this afternoon." Zhou Fenghan was naturally filled with doubts. Why did he come over for? What would an extreme silk pants like Emma have anything to look for? Snorting innately, he thought, "Your old man hasn't even come to look for me, and you dare to take the initiative." He spoke, "Let him in." And with a wave of his hand sent Zhou Yanzu away to her own room for rest. The sounds of footsteps rang out, with Ling Tian leading and Mr. Ken behind. Both of them entered the room. Chapter 43, Gentleman's Negotiation. Translator, David. Editor, Sal. Mr. Ken laughed heartily, saying, "It's rare to see Brother Zhou. Since we're staying in the same residence currently, this Ken would like to take the opportunity to have a good chat with Brother Zhou, so I was impulsive in coming over. Brother Zhou, please understand." Zhou Fenghan smiled slightly as he replied, "What kind of words are those, Brother Ken? For you to grace my quarters with your presence is to overwhelm this little me with favor. Please, take a seat." Glancing at the side, Ling Tian had sat down on a chair long ago and even placed a leg under his buttocks to cushion them while sitting down, being totally uncouth. Casually swiping the snacks on the table, he put them in his mouth and spat them out with a pipe sound, saying, "Not nice. Not nice." Mr. Ken turned towards the latter, coughing loudly twice. Zhou Fenghan felt even more unhappy and could only reluctantly hold his loathing in his heart as he spoke, "Young master, to visit this old man in the night, may I know what matter you have?" Ling Tian scratched his little head before replying, "A moment ago, I just thought of it. Zhou. Oops, Grandpa Zhou, you brought out the topic of annulling the marriage agreement today. This. It seems a little inappropriate." Thunder flashed across Zhou Fenghan's face as he retorted, "What is inappropriate about it? This is already a foregone conclusion, and besides, it should be your grandfather coming to look for me instead." He implied that as a kid, he did not have the authority. "Ling Tian, however, shook his head. "Grandpa Zhou, you are mistaken. Whether the marriage goes through or fails is part of Ling Tian's life blessings, so even if my grandfather were to intercede on my behalf, he would not be able to express my heart's thoughts." This made Zhou Fenghan blow up. Ever since he had taken the position of family head in the last decade, this was the first time someone dared to tell him in his face that he was wrong. His face immediately fell as he snapped, "Then, according to you, what should we do?" Ling Tian merely smiled. "I heard that the marriage arrangement that year was facilitated by Grandpa Zhou yourself, is that true?" Zhou Fenghan had an icy expression. "Yes, that's right. That year, it was this old man's idea that both of us families become relatives." Ling Tian smiled brightly as he continued, "That being the case, the arrangement was also cancelled by Grandpa Zhou today, and this matter was also heard by all others there, including this little one. Am I wrong for saying so?" Zhou Fenghan was growing ever impatient, and hearing him speak more nonsense, he wanted to pick him up and throw him out. Forcefully regaining his composure, he replied again, "Yes. That was done by this old man. However, he was thinking, if it wasn't for the fact that you were too disappointing, why would I be the bad guy and do such a thing?" The same Cheshire cat grin was still plastered on Ling Tian's face as he pressed on. "Thus, the reason why Grandpa Zhou wanted to annul the marriage was because Ling Tian is too disappointing, and you're afraid that I would interfere with Miss Zhou's happiness, am I correct?" With a face of disdain, Zhou Fenghan replied, "Seems like you are not completely unaware of everything." What he implied was that Ling Tian had hit the jackpot. Ling Tian's face fell and his body straightened up as he spoke. "If that is the case, then Grandpa Zhou would be engaging and annulling as and when he sees fit. For what reason, we shall not say, but the truth is that for both families' matters, all decisions were made by Grandpa Zhou alone, as though the clouds come when your palm faces up and the rain comes when your palm faces down. Doing whatever you like, totally uncaring of the feelings of the Ling family." This sentence completely showed off Ling Tian's ability, domineering beyond belief. Impudent. Zhou Fenghan would never have imagined that this little kid could actually come up with such a sentence. If this matter got leaked out, how much waves would it actually cause? Thus, he definitely lost control. Smashing a palm down on the table in front of Ling Tian with a violent bang, the sturdy table actually turned into a pile of wood chips. Inner strength. Ling Tian's pupils contracted, his heart seeming like it was struck with a heavy blow from a steel hammer. Damn it! Since when did this world have such a thing? Why was it that this old fellow in front of him could use it as and when he liked? Ling Tian believed his vision did not fail him, and that in his fury, Zhou Fenghan had actually performed an internal cultivator's inner chi. It was only that it was conspicuously mixed, unable to hold a candle to the orthodox chi produced by the divine shocking dragon formula that Ling Tian practiced. Furthermore, it did not look like his internal strength was deep, more like he had just scratched the surface. However, Ling Tian remained unblinking, smiling coldly as he said, "Don't tell me that whatever I said just now was fabrication? My questions a moment ago, Grandpa Zhou answered all of them." Never did Zhou Fenghan expect that a mere 5-year-old child could actually dig such a big pitfall for him, and that he even jumped in unhesitatingly without any form of preparations. For a short moment, he was so angered he could not speak. Upon hearing the commotion, the guards outside barged in loudly. Taking a deep breath, Zhou Fenghan waved his sleeve while saying, "You may go out, there's nothing wrong here." Unhurriedly seating himself once more, he stared at Ling Tian with the eyes of an eagle, as though it was the first time he had actually seen him. What are you actually driving towards?" Ling Tian smirked. "The Zhou family has huge influence over the finances, and our Ling family cannot afford to provoke you. Even if this grandson wants to do something, so long as Grandpa Zhou does not agree, then everything is just empty words." His words implied that Zhou Fenghan had taken matters into his own hands in dealing with the affairs of the two households, and he did not relax from this stance one bit. Zhou Fenghan was gradually feeling as though this fellow was not an easy target, and even though he was burning inside, he smiled instead. Go ahead with whatever you want to say. It does not matter even if it is inadequate. I had better figure out Ling Tian's intention before anything else. Ling Tian's eyes chilled. While my Ling family is incomparable to the Zhou family, we are also not so weak that we allow someone to step over us. Grandpa Zhou can cover the skies with one hand. By going back on your words just based on a single sentence, even for the matters of two families, I'm not sure if Grandpa Zhou treats my Ling family as another place you possess? Or do you not even place the Ling family in your eyes? Are we just meat on a chopping block to you? With such a bad labeling dropped onto him, this made Zhou Fenghan apoplectic with rage until his body trembled. He thought to himself darkly, today's matters were actually a bit overboard. If the Ling family were to misunderstand because of this, then there would be hell to pay. The reason he had stayed over at the Ling's was that he had taken this into consideration, and to think that this little kid in front of him had taken the words out of his own mouth. Stabilizing his mental state with difficulty, he leisurely spoke. Ling Tian, you should also know that if such words get leaked, no matter the Ling or Zhou family, what will the aftermath be? Can you bear the responsibility? Ling Tian gave a relaxed smile. This grandson here is still a kid, so what's this talk about responsibility? However, if Grandpa Zhou does not want the words to travel out, then Tanner would naturally wish for the same thing. Zhou Fenghan finally understood that the purpose of Ling Tian coming here today was to talk terms with him. Zhou Fenghan unhurriedly replied, regarding today's matters, were they your idea, or someone else's? When he spoke, his tone was cold, as though he wanted to freeze everyone into ice directly. Ling Tian laughed in return, judging by how Grandpa Zhou has been friends with my grandfather for so many years, do you think this could be from him? Ling Tian did not directly answer the question, but instead posed another question back to him. Gently nodding his head, Zhou Fenghan said, definitely not. However, this old man does not believe that at your age, you can come up with such words. Lifting his head high, his eyes bright and clear, and staring straight at Zhou Fenghan, he spoke unflinchingly, this matter started because of my marriage. The person who loses out the most in this is me, Ling Tian, not the Ling family. Does Grandpa Zhou intend to deny that? Zhou Fenghan stared back in return, thinking that this child's eyes were immensely acute, hiding his thoughts very well. He could only give up and turn his head, saying, if you put it this way, I can't very well disagree. Ling Tian began to laugh heartily. If that's so, then things will be much more easily settled. Grandpa Zhou facilitated my marriage that year by yourself, and today, Grandpa Zhou once again dissolved my marriage by yourself. Putting it like that isn't wrong, is it? Ling Tian's words were extremely crafty, sealing the fact that he had no relationship with the Ling family and that today's matters were all his idea, without any relation with the rest of his family. Being the crafty old fox, how could Zhou Fenghan not catch on to the meaning? However, what he wanted most now was this, to prevent any possible implications between the two families, so as to prevent future troubles. As such, he nodded his head, saying, that's right, while he thought, whatever methods you have, just bring them out. This old man has traveled unhindered under the heavens. Don't tell me I can't take care of a child like you? With a cunning smile, Ling Tian dropped the bomb. Grandpa Zhou, as a senior, you created such a huge mishap for this grandson here by not only letting my allocated future wife disappear without a trace, but also letting this grandson become the laughingstock of this entire capital. For such a huge loss, don't tell me that senior doesn't have any intention of repaying this grandson here?